Hi, bestie. Welcome back. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Garrett, and we're your hosts of Modern Gays. On today's episode, we have Kevin Kasir, who is a gay life coach, joining us to chat about all things friends, how to make them, how to keep them, and how to stay away from the ones you shouldn't have been friends with in the first place.
What is the average length a friendship should last?
Hopefully your whole life, but the potential of that happening is very slim. I have friends that I thought I would have been friends with forever. And those friends were incredible because I had the best memories. We had done some crazy shit together, but at the end of the day, some of those friends kind of faded away.
That's the thing. Hey, it's like when you're younger in your 20s, I can say that now because I'm in my 30s, bitch. But when you're in your 20s and your teens, you do some wild, crazy fucking shit with your friends.
Some friends grow up, some friends don't.
Yes.
Your mindset changes as you grow up. Your goals change as you
mature.
Grow. Like what you want out of life starts to shift. But this episode is about making new friends, and specifically gay friends. Because I think that now that I'm a bit older, I realize that we need gay friends.
We do need gay friends.
We don't have enough gay friends. I don't think you can have enough gay friends.
No,
Everyone
you can
needs
never have enough gay friends.
Lots of gay friends.
Although speaking of too many gay friends, it's Memorial Day weekend in the US this week, and everyone's in Palm Springs having pool parties with like 80 gay friends at a house. That's too much for me.
I think you have FOMO because right now it's cold in Melbourne, and I would love a rosé by the pool in 80-degree weather. Sorry.
But can I tell you, actually, I feel as though I have social anxiety now. Thinking about myself in that scenario, in that situation, usually I'm like, yes, queen, work, let's get it, boy. Now I'm like, oh my God, there are like all these sexy men around us with abs in Speedos.
Just say, hey, you look good. I feel fabulous. Put on that Speedo and jump in the pool.
Okay. And then what?
That's it. Just have a good time.
Okay.
Get out of your
Dance
head.
to Ariana.
Exactly.
Work.
Well, maybe our guest, Kevin Kasir, can help us. Hey, everyone. It's Daniel and Garrett from Modern Gays. You know how we're all about owning your authentic self, right? Well, we found something that's totally in line with that. It's called Homes Decor, spelled with 2 M's. Yeah, like home, but make it French and fabulous. This place is not your average home decor store. It's a vibe.
Picture this, guys. Provocative pillows that start conversations, gay vintage art that's like a time machine to the past, and futuristic drag queen portraits that are just iconic. It's all about expressing you.
And get this, they're offering free international shipping for orders over $200.
And save that money!
So you can be fabulous no matter where you are in the world.
Oh, and because we love you guys, use the code ModernGays at checkout for a cheeky 10% off. It's like a high five from us to you.
So go ahead, make your space as vibrant as you are. Check out Homes, that's HOMMES, decor.com, and let your home tell your story.
Us gays, we just know how to do stuff.
Well, what about modern gays?
That's easy. Modern gays do everything.
All right, so Kevin, thank you so much for joining us on Modern Gays.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
When we found your content, it was really interesting because you were talking about a lot of things that we think about all the time. And whether that be building friendships or having a good relationship with ourselves and having that energy and fearlessness to walk out into the world. How did you get into the work that you're doing, talking about mindset, talking about people's relationships?
Yeah. Well, I've always been interested in self-development. Ever since I was young, if there is something I'm complaining about, it's not long before I do something about it. I'm gay. I live in LA around West Hollywood. And there's so many guys around here that, to me, it looks like they have it all. Like they're gorgeous. They have a bunch of money. It looks like they have a bunch of friends. But then maybe we'll have conversations. And of course, this isn't everyone, but it happens pretty commonly that when we speak, it's clear that they're like, oh, I'm really unhappy with this. I wish this was better in my life. And I'm always surprised. And because of that happening so frequently, I was like, you know what? I want to be able to spread the way I feel about myself, because I have a lot going for me, but there are people who I think have way more going for them and they don't feel the way I feel.
Right.
And I want them to feel those good feelings like I feel about myself.
And that's it. It comes down to the feeling, right? Like it's about how we feel, how we think about ourselves. It's not even just about how people perceive us. Because like you said, people can perceive us to have all these certain accolades and money and friends and whatever it might be. But on the inside, you actually don't feel that. And if you're not feeling that, it's not going to give off the same energy or the same vibe, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Some people call it confidence, or some people call it self-love, or even a mindset, thinking about who we are and the life that we want to live and building that life authentically. What are the signs that, or the feelings that you can self-identify that you maybe don't have the best mindset?
Yeah. You're saying like, how do you recognize that there's things to work on?
Yeah.
I would really just say if there's anything that you don't like. If you're feeling anything you don't like, there is a chance you could change it. Whether it is social anxiety or body dysmorphia or OCD symptoms. Of course, some things are harder to change than others, but it's not a helpless victim situation where there can be zero progress.
Right.
You know? So I would genuinely say if there is like anything you complain about ever, or even if you don't complain about, if you're sitting in bed looking at Instagram and you compare yourself in a negative way, I hope that thinking a negative thought can become a trigger for changing it. But some of these things might take action. Like if you are unhappy with, I don't know, your skin, do a face skincare routine in the bathroom. If you're unhappy with the way a certain part of your body looks, there's some mental work that can be done and there's some physical work that can be done. But I think taking some kind of action when you're feeling a negative feeling to change it, I think that is the start.
I love that. I think acknowledging the feeling, taking some form of first step to rectifying
some kind of action
is key. I love that.
Like even thinking about action, sometimes that actionable step is a lot harder for some than others. And it really depends on, how aware, I guess, of an issue you might have with your own mindset or the way that you're talking to yourself. I think for myself, like speaking out of my own experience, that I get into my head a lot. Like I overanalyze. And then for me to take an action sometimes takes a lot of time because I'm trying to figure out all of, the ways that I can do something or ways maybe out of something.
I just get lazy. I'm like, I identify it. I'm like, oh, I need to fix on this. I need to work on this, or I need to fix this. And then it's the doing. Like I actually taking that first step for me is always the most difficult. And then I find that I don't take that step until it really reaches a critical point in my mind where I'm like, okay, this is enough. I need to fix this. Whereas had I done it much earlier on, it would have been started to be solved a lot earlier.
What are some ways that you feel like can motivate that action?
Yeah, so just like how Daniel just said, feeling lazy. I've actually been feeling lazy quite a bit lately. I've been staying in bed a lot longer than usual and kind of just sitting there thinking, what am I doing? So much time is passing, but I don't really know what to do. So what I tell my clients and myself is just do anything. It doesn't have to be get out of bed, go grocery shopping, start cooking and working out. It could be literally stand up. Like that little action of standing up, you would be surprised at how much that can make a difference if you've been in bed for 30 minutes, an hour, 5 hours. Sometimes just standing up without a purpose.
Right.
You will suddenly feel different.
Yeah.
And you'll suddenly be like, just that one step, and it will lead to another step and another one and another one. But sometimes thinking of the big picture can make us freeze.
So you know, what helps for me is Daniel, because like he'll be like, get out of bed now. But having that person, whether it be a significant other or relationship, like they have an impact into some of your behavior and helping you stay accountable or build that better routine that might be serving you better. What about friendships? Like how do friendships affect your mindset? And like, how do they come into play, you think?
Yeah. So if I relate this specifically to being gay, I think it's very important, especially compared to straight people, because for them, their life, it's the norm. But for us, we grew up with so much shame. So I know for myself, having gay friends, having intimate and deep conversation with other gay guys, it allowed me to reduce a lot of shame around things that I felt like were weird, you know? And a lot of my friends would say they had similar experiences, whether it is about like attraction or actions we've done or mistakes we've made. When I talk with other gay guys and have real deep conversations, not just over a drink at a bar,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And if without the intention of flirting and taking someone home as well, you know, when we have these real conversations, I'm able to be like, oh my God, this thing I thought I was so weird about, it's actually pretty common for a bunch of gay guys. And now I don't feel like a freak or a pervert. So I do think in one way, friendship helps to reduce shame, specifically for marginalized identities. In addition, friendship, just like how you mentioned with a partner, friends can just help you kind of get out of ruts. Of course, they're probably not going to text you, say, hey, did you get out of bed today? But if you have no plans all week and all you do is go to work and sleep, work and sleep, work and sleep, work and sleep, all it takes is one hangout with a friend to be like, oh my God, I did something different. My life belongs to me again. It's not just about work and sleep.
Yeah.
So those little things matter.
I feel like it always looks different, and having people within our community that understand that or could relate to that or have maybe been in some similar situations, I think it's so important for those reasons to have those types of relationships and to build those connections with people in our community that can identify, like you said.
And it's been hard to build gay relationships. And when I was growing up, I had a group of great friends and we would go out to the bars in West Hollywood and have a fun time. And I moved to New York after that and had to build up a new circle of friends. I didn't know anybody. Then again, when we moved to Melbourne, Australia, it was like building that all over again. So a lot of people move throughout their life and some people stay in the same city the whole life. But friends come and go and people move on with their lives. What are some of the best ways to make new friends and especially sharing a sense of being gay or queer?
Of course, everyone does their own thing. You don't have to listen to my advice perfectly, but my first piece of advice would be make sure you're looking for friends and you're not looking for a friends with benefit that turns into a partner.
Yes, we love this.
I genuinely think that is where most gay guys especially shoot themselves in the foot. And I have plenty of friends that are absolutely gorgeous, amazing, dateable guys. But I really think, I'm like, you know what? Like, could I really imagine the rest of my life with this person? No. I mean, at first I might think, oh my God, he's so hot. But then I think, you know what? I would rather have a long-term friendship with this person than test the waters with something that I'm not really thinking could last for a long time. It might be fun for short term, but not long term. So first and foremost, I think people need to be certain they're looking for friends in the first place. Secondly, I would say meeting guys through common interests you have, because you could go to a bar, you could go to a gay event. A lot of times gay events, unless there's a specific theme, kind of the thing they have in common, it does happen to be like go-go dancers, shirtless boys, partying. And, you know, I have a lot more interests than go-go boys, shirtless dancers, and partying. You know, like I'm interested in tarot cards and video games and anime and stuff like that. So if there is some kind of queer event based on an interest you have, you're more likely to meet people who you have more things in common with.
Right.
And also you could meet people at non-queer events. There's queer people everywhere now. So you could meet someone at a non-queer event, so don't rule those out. Maybe you'll meet someone who has a queer friend, but if you are looking specifically for like a group of this gay posse, you know, then you could go to, there's gay specific events for everything, whether it's sports, gamer nights, trivia nights, whatever, and talk with people and make it clear you're looking for friends.
I love that.
Okay, so that's what I'll say for the last thing. 3, make it clear you're looking for friends. Say the word friend a lot. Say you're not looking for a partner. Say, I want friends, friend. Just say the word friend a lot.
Blast it everywhere.
Yeah, so that there's no misinterpretation. Because it's easy to misinterpret. And so that is another third and final thing, is make it clear to yourself and other people that you only want friends.
I love that. And I mean, I'm going to go there and share a personal story with you right now. Garrett and I were at a bar, and we're obviously a married couple. We're out, we're just with some friends having a drink. And obviously we're always open to meeting new friends, right? Word is friends. And this guy randomly came up to us. He was like, are you guys open? That's never happened to us in terms of someone coming up to us and just being like, I want to have a threesome with you right off the bat. But then he was also like, if you guys aren't into that, I'm also open to friends. Like, I'd love to be friends with you. And we looked at each other like very confused, because it's 2 different things. And I think what I'm trying to say is that I love what you're saying, because being really clear with your intentions and what you're looking for is so important, because our experience that we had really confused us, because we were like, what do you actually want? Because I don't think it was clear.
I think that in that moment, I was so taken aback, because it was like, I love what you said, clear communication. So it was clear communication, but it was 2 very different things, because we were very clear that we were just with our friends, wanted to have, a good time. And a stranger comes up to us and is like, basically, I want to have sex with you, but if you don't want to have sex with me right now, we'll be friends.
And I do think there are plenty of people who hook up with their friends and it's fine. Of course, I'm not saying they can't do that, but if you think statistically, probability and likelihood, what is more likely to cause more drama? Or let's think of the opposite. What is less likely to have drama? A situation where you're not hooking up, or a situation where you are? I just think not opening that Pandora's box, it saves a lot of trouble.
I agree.
Even if people can navigate it well, it's more to manage.
We've connected with a lot of people in our community that are queer or gay by doing things we like, by like going to the gym. We go to Barry's. We're one of those gays. But we purposely actually made an effort to go, because we said maybe we'll meet some cool people within the community that have similar interests and that like to go to a Saturday morning boot camp class and then go for breakfast after, and that's that similarity. And and we've actually managed to make some amazing long-lasting friendships that are important and valuable to us.
Did you meet them in the steam room or the sauna?
No, actually.
That's where some people might try to make some friends too. But I don't know what kind of friends they're looking for.
That's where your step of the boundaries comes in. What's your intention here?
Yeah, exactly. And I love that setting that up from the beginning is very important, and just repeating it and screaming it on the top of the hill, like saying like, I'm looking for friends.
Yeah, friends.
Like, I think that it gets through, and it really kind of helps block some of the distractions that can happen if that's really truly what you're looking for. Let's talk about nurturing, like, and building those relationships. Like, assuming that now you have made some great gay friends, or you have found some of what you feel are your people, and you feel great connections, and being able to grow that relationship over time and
do new things, do new activities.
So how to nurture like deeper friendships?
Yeah.
I would say exactly what you two were just saying, is like plan other hangouts, beach days, hikes, things like that. If you are the one creating events or hosting events, then you'll see them more and you'll naturally have other conversations and get to know each other better and feel more connected. I actually compare a lot of things to like my high school friends, because we would see each other so frequently. And we, of course, lived very close. Our lives were a lot less busy. So we would have just chill hangs sitting around. So nowadays, people are busier. Another thing I suggest is doing like errand dates together.
Okay.
My favorite go-to for friends that live very close to me is saying, hey, I'm going to get groceries in 3 hours. Want me to pick you up? And we'll go together. And plenty of the time, it doesn't work out. But, maybe like a quarter of the time it does work. Then we go get groceries. We do a chore. We're not setting our day back at all. And we talk, have nice, good conversation. Then we go home.
I love that.
That's a great idea because we just had one of our best friends over last night for dinner and it took us 6 weeks to make that plan.
Oh my God.
And we're talking like best friend. Like I went to high school with this guy. We've been friends for like 20 years.
And like we see each other often, but like it took a minute this last time. And it was because, we're so busy. We're doing this, we're doing that. And like being able to just hang out on an errand or doing something together that you're going to do anyway. It's a great idea.
I like that. I'd also say my new strategy for maintaining my friends are sending memes and reels. Like that's my new strategy. I'm here, girl. I thought of you. Here you go. Have a good laugh. But sometimes they can also be a little bit deeper. They're like, the ones that have the quote on top of them with the water and the piano music playing. And it's like, I'm so proud of you, bestie. You're doing a good job.
I've been sending voice memos to my friends.
Yes.
So unsolicited voice memos of me usually just like driving from somewhere. And I'm like, okay, so I've just been thinking about this. And sometimes they end up being like 15 minutes long. But I always tell my friends they don't need to listen to it. It's kind of just a fun thing.
Yeah, I like that. And that's the thing about us as well. When we have this podcast, a lot of our friends are like, oh, sorry, I haven't checked in on you. We've just been listening to your podcast. So we know that everything that's going on in your life. And we feel like we speak to you every week. And we're like, girl, we haven't heard from you. So call me, girl.
Yeah. It does have to be a two-way street.
Yes.
Same with the memes.
Yes, same with the memes. Absolutely. And maybe it's always
busy on the voice memo.
And you know what? That's better than hey, how's it going?
How's it going?
Like, what's up?
Yeah.
Or like, rather than like leaving it just like, I'm checking in by asking like this generic question, rather by checking in and sharing like what's going on in your life. And even if it is a 15-minute voice memo about like what's going on, and that's way more interesting and engaging. And it shows a lot more effort that you've taken to invest in that relationship because you care to share that with them.
And it's also good for you to just let it out and actually talk about something sometimes. Even if someone doesn't respond, it's just good for you to verbalize it and put it out there, I think.
Okay, I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that one.
Okay.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
There are the friends that you've built up that support you and that hopefully lift you up. But even some of your friends can also potentially derail your mindset with a bit of jealousy, or they can
envy you.
Maybe have some bit of envy or judgment.
Or just not be happy for you, really.
So this is a really common thing that my clients and I work on, actually. And jealousy comes up often, whether it is jealousy on social media. You're talking specifically about jealousy about friends. And I think that's so important to mention. But in my own life, it's pretty tough for me to be friends with people who being insecure is a big part of who they are. Everyone has insecurities. I have insecurities. But if a main component of someone's personality is being insecure, being happy for yourself usually rubs those people the wrong way. So I would say for certain people, it might be better off for the both of you to not hang out anymore.
Correct.
Because it's so uncomfortable to feel like you can't share good news with a friend. Of course, if they had a very specific incident in their life and maybe you don't want to share good news about like maybe your family because they had traumatic family issues, that's understandable. But if you're saying like, oh my God, like I was in such a slump, but I got myself out of the slump and I'm so happy now. And if your friend is like, well, I'm still in the slump, so wish I could feel like you. It's like, okay, well, I'll never want to tell you a good thing about my life ever again.
Right.
So in that case, I hope none of you have friends like that. And if you do, what's the redeeming quality? When there are little tinges of jealousy, and it's not an overarching part of who that person is, I do think if your friend is being jealous with you, jealous towards you, I guess you could try to address it. You could try to say, hey, my intention is not to make you angry or something, but I can't help but feel like you're unhappy when I'm happy on this specific topic. If it's your own jealousy, that's what we could work on more, because we could work on ourselves more than anything. And what I would say is, if you are feeling jealous towards your friends, then you could focus on what is it that you're jealous about, and how could you focus on things in your life you're passionate about.
I love that.
If you're jealous of your friend's job, then maybe you're just not focusing on something in your own life, whether it's job or not. Maybe you need to focus on that hobby you've been hiding under the bed for a month.
Or maybe, like you said at the start of this episode, you need to just take the first step, put the first foot in front of the other, stand up, do whatever you need to do so that you don't have that. Would you say there is a correlation between judgment and being jealous? Would you say that our jealousy sometimes comes out as being judgmental?
I think so. I never really thought it before until you said that. But I do think if someone is seeming judgmental, it might be because they wish they had that. Like Sexy Red, who I love. I don't know if they have her in Melbourne, but she's this rapper here in America. And she is like twerking all over the place. She's pregnant. Well, she's not pregnant anymore, but she is rapping and doing all this stuff while pregnant. And her songs are very, twerk music. And some people judge her and stuff, but she's an example where she's living so free and so authentic, and she's positive. She has like a positive outlook. And I think some people judge her because they wish they could just be that
authentic. Right. And that's the thing. The more authentic you are and the more authentically you live your life, the more jealousy, the more judgment, the more hate, unfortunately, you're going to get, because people wish that they could be that authentic in themselves.
Yeah.
And hopefully none of those people are your friends.
Right. Yeah. A really good example that I want people to relate to other parts of life is work. At work, it's so normal to complain. It is weird to say you're happy about work, but if you're at work and you're saying, it's Monday, oh my God, can it be 5 already? We've got this other meeting. That is more normal than saying, you know what, today's a good day, I'm loving it. But that is just an example that translates to regular life too. Like if you're, I don't know, at some party and you're like, oh my God, like life is so good. I actually love myself now.
Yes.
Like that sounds more weird than saying, you know what, I really don't like myself.
It's so true, because we went to the gym this week and I was having a stressful week, and the girl at the gym was like, she says to us, good morning every morning. She's so sweet. And she was like, how are you today? I was going to say I'm okay, but I was like, I'm fabulous. And she literally was taken back to the point she was like, fabulous. Yes, I love that for you. And even Garrett was kind of like, yes, he's fabulous today. And I think it honestly changed our whole mood, like the three of us, because we're so robotic in our responses to like, how are you? I'm okay, I'm good. But I found this week, even to Garrett, I've been waking up and I'm like, today's going to be a good day. Everything's going to be good. And it really changes and sets a different mood.
It's such a great feeling to be just fully yourself if you feel it, and expressing that. And sometimes, even if it is just walking into a room and someone's asking you like how you're doing, and you're like, you just let it out.
Yes.
You really just communicate like really your joy. Then it is it's like almost like a cause and effect, because it kind of like starts
it's a domino effect,
chain reaction of good vibes. And it's so powerful, or can be powerful, and affecting your way of thinking.
So being authentic, you might not connect with as many people because once again, it's more normal to complain. It's more normal to be unhappy. It's more normal to not be confident, because that might be considered cocky.
Right.
So if you're more authentic, yes, there might be less people you relate to, but you will relate to more quality people. There might be some more people who think you're just
too much
on different levels. But when you do meet that one person who, even if it's at a bar, someone who's dancing, no inhibition.
Yes.
Right. It looks like they're on Molly, but they're sober.
That's me.
There would be so many people who would be uncomfortable with that, because they'd be like, how are you not drunk?
Right.
I'm drunk and I can't even do that. But the people that are on your level, they would be like, oh my God, like, yes.
Yes.
Like, they would hype you up. You would enjoy them too. And maybe other people would be like, they're so loud and obnoxious.
Yes.
But that's what you're supposed to do on a dance floor, right?
And that's energy. And we did an episode about vibration and like
vibrating higher and harder.
And it was really about just doing you and allowing yourself to really own your energy.
Own
and
your space.
That vibration that you're giving out into the world and hopefully attracting similar energy back.
Like attracts like, I say.
And I would be more patient to attract the good things. One good thing, I would rather have one good thing than have 5 things bringing me down.
Yes.
So in this case, if we're talking about friends or people, if you're down in the dumps, you could bond over anxiety and trauma with a lot of people. That's a very easy thing to bond over. But that is based in pain.
And then I also feel like once one person outgrows that pain, if that other person also doesn't get out of that pain or that same cycle, then that friendship is going to be redundant because you don't have that bond or that similarity to have that connection.
Yeah, exactly. If that was the whole connection right there, then you're exactly right. It would be done.
We've spoken about being authentic, right? And being proud and confident and living in who we really are. But I think maybe for a lot of us, it's a struggle to be authentic or to be really confident. What would you say is like 1 or 2 ways that we can be more confident or be more authentic and really express and communicate to people around us, like what we're thinking or who we actually are? Yeah.
One simple thing is focusing on some kind of goal or passion you have. So a lot of us, once again, we might just go to work, go home and doom scroll and sleep.
Right.
But things that make me feel like, oh my God, I'm doing that is I'm trying to bulk up. So body-wise, I'm trying to bulk up. When I do that, I feel good. Even if I had a bad day, if I ate what I needed to and worked out, I'm like, oh, cool. Another thing is I like to knit. So if I knit and if I'm working on a project and getting through it and I see the hat is coming together or the blanket, then once again, even if I had a bad day, even if I laid in bed all day or whatever, I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing something. I'm reaching a goal. And then when my friends ask me, how have you been? I don't say, work sucks, I hate it, blah, blah. I say, oh my God, I'm almost done with this knitting project. Like, do you want to see it? Or here's this other goal that I have.
Right.
Maybe I wanted to build something and I've been building it.
Yeah.
So find some kind of hobby or passion or interest and work on that. It's so subtle and simple, but it has a big impact. And secondly, I think being very open and honest is another good way to reduce shame and also to get things off your chest. It's something Brene Brown talks about, this social worker, does a lot of public speaking. She talks about how shame can't exist where there's empathy. So if you share about things, I know I've been kind of almost implying that you don't want to talk about negative things, but if you talk about good things, talk about negative things, if you just talk about whatever you are genuinely feeling in that moment,
right,
then you will naturally start to trust your gut more. You'll trust your instinct more because you're not going to second guess, should I say this or should I not? Should I say it or not? And that will translate to more than just your words. That will translate to you taking action without second guessing.
Yeah.
So finding a passion and also just not second guessing what you're going to say.
Yeah. Because you'll have that aha moment, right? Like when you communicate, even sometimes you verbalizing it and you connect the dots, you're like, it clicks. It all fits together,
Well, I really am appreciative that you came on to our podcast to share so much of your insight, as well as inspire us to think about even communicating it a little bit differently. Like I know that I'm going to start leaving some voice notes for my friends and connecting in, because that's something I know that I can do better job at nurturing my friendships and checking in more and offering more value rather than just saying, hey, what's up? I'm thinking about you. It's more of like, this is what's going on in my life. What's going on here? I know you're working on this. How's that going? Like be a bit more specific and share more of that in the moment feeling. And we celebrate our gayness and we are really joyful and want to spread that happy energy and allow people to connect authentically. And you really, I think, help so many people do just that.
Well, thank you. Really enjoyed this.
Yes, likewise. Thank you once again for joining us. It's been a pleasure, and we look forward to connecting with you again soon.
I know that I'm going to take some of his advice right now and just apply it to my friendships.
You know what I'm going to start doing right now is I'm going to learn a new skill, and I'm going to start knitting.
Knitting, yeah.
I'm going to knit a blanket.
Okay.
It's my new winter hobby.
Let's get into it. All right. Well, until next time, keep building the vibrant life you want by owning your authentic self.
Yes, queen!
Hey everyone, it's Daniel and Garrett from Modern Gaze. You know how we're all about owning your authentic self, right? Well, we found something that's totally in line with that. It's called Homes Decor, spelled with 2 M's. Yeah, like home, but make it French and fabulous. This place is not your average home decor store. It's a vibe.
Picture this, guys. Provocative pillows that start conversations, gay vintage art that's like a time machine to the past, and futuristic drag queen portraits that are just iconic. It's all about expressing you.
And get this, they're offering free international shipping for orders over $200.
Save that money!
So you can be fabulous no matter where you are in the world.
Oh, and because we love you guys, use the code ModernGaze at checkout for a cheeky 10% off. It's like a high five from us to you.
So go ahead, make your space as vibrant as you are. Check out Homes, that's HOMMES, decor.com, and let your home tell your story.